Hey, folks, one of the Redneck Country Podcast. You are on with Real Redneck Todd Millard, and of course, we've got the almost guy, Real Redneck Bill Tom. Bill, are you there?
I'm here, and it's a beautiful night for a podcast.
It is a beautiful night for a podcast, and as always, sitting beside me here in the studio, the patriarch of Redneck Country, my father, Real Redneck Don Millard. Dad, is your mic hot?
It's on, if that's what you mean.
My gosh, yes, he's louder than both of us.
That's
right. Right.
I walked
It's
over.
good to hear him.
I walked
Says
over.
you.
It's,
I got 42 years that'll argue with that. Look, and I can still cut him off, even though his mic's hotter than ours.
it's cold out there tonight, but the snow quit. But we're going to get more tonight. But I had a nice walk over. Yeah, it was awesome.
It is cold tonight. I got pushed out to the sunroom again tonight because we had a late dinner, and I've got two blankets on, my toque and a jacket here, and my warm tea beside me. I'll be warm for the podcast. I'm sure you're feeling sorry for me there in your heated studio there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
As long as you have a tea in your hand, Bill, then the world is all right.
Yeah, we got the world going around in the right direction. We're good.
I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. I haven't even chirped you in the last couple podcasts. I've mentioned it.
Are you kidding
But
me?
I haven't mentioned it in a negative light. I've just mentioned it.
Wow. Okay. I mean, we see things differently, but I guess that's just the way we work. But
I understand. I understand you're sensitive. You're a tea drinker. You're a tea drinker. So I get it.
Yeah. At least I don't make food from a box. Speaking of that, I did see a picture of something that you made tonight that looked suspicious at best.
Okay. No. Not suspicious. No. Hold on. I'm because I gotta find where I texted you.
Actually, there was carrots in that picture. So
and potatoes. I gotta find
potatoes?
what I texted you. Text you? Is it text or is it texted? What is
send me via phone?
Sent to you to send. I sent it to your mobile. It was turkey involtini. I'll have you know. And so it is farm fresh. And so it's delivered to my door in a box.
Yeah.
But it's still like raw, fresh turkey, raw vegetables.
Turkey,
I have to.
Turkey in a box. I thought you thought it was in a bikini.
In a bikini. I'm not even going there. And so,
yeah, but I saw what was in that pan. You made what was in that pan?
So hold on. What you saw was pesto sauce.
Oh, that was pesto.
Pesto and cream cheese that I had brought to a simmer. And then I took spinach with garlic. I chopped the spinach. I chopped the garlic. I added Philadelphia cream cheese. And I mashed it together. I flattened out the turkey. Right? I took see, you with me? So I flattened out the turkey, and then I rolled the turkey over the spinach and whatever I said else is in there, the garlic and the whatever. And but I tell you what, it was friggin' awesome. Might have been a little too much. It's salt. It said season the potatoes with salt while they're cooking. And so they don't tell you what season means. So there might have been a little too much salt in the potatoes. But aside from that, we have, and so tonight we have Nick coming on a little later as a chef. He will back me up on this, that this is, I tell you what, this is a gourmet plate, my man.
I doubt it. I'm sure he'll make fun of you just like I am.
I think they call it, so you gave me a mug that says Grill Master because you recognize the skills.
This is not Grill Master skills.
No. And this is where I'm going. This is now, I need a new mug the next time you come. Like Michelin rated. I think that's what they call it. See, I've done my homework. We're not even like 3-star. This is I believe it's 5-star Michelin rated dinners now. I am knocking out. I tell you what, my wife's the luckiest woman on the planet.
Yeah, I bet you. Donna, I would say if we got her on the podcast right now, she would echo that sentiment right there. I guarantee it.
She may be out grocery shopping for dinner for the next, however, because she knows now what I can do, the magic I can create.
Yeah. Speaking of magic, I was just trying to figure out what went on in the Millard household. Two questions. One, looked like there was a breakdancing episode that went on today.
I didn't know where you were going with this.
There's a second where I'm going to go with this, and I'm sure you're going to have something to say about it too. But there was a breakdancing seminar, and I did not see your dad on that that dance party? What happened?
Yeah, where were you when that was going on? So for what you're talking about, Bill, I went live this morning. My mouse goes dead as I'm working, and I'm like, crap, I got to go get batteries. Well, they're upstairs. So as I come around the corner and start to go up the stairs, I can see my mother, who is assisting my 7-year-old, grade 2, with homeschooling every day. So as I come around the corner and look up, there they are, busting a groove. I think it was Cotton Eye Joe, and apparently that's gym class. So they're in the middle of the kitchen on a Zoom meeting doing, and now it was walk up the stairs and get caught up in the Cotton Eye Joe fever and possibly wreck the hopscotch math that is on the floor of the classroom, I'm going to call it. Or I could go live on Facebook and show the world that my mother still got moves. So you know where I get it from. And so I chose the latter. So where were you, Dad?
Well, I was on the couch enjoying it. I'd already been to London. Today was the day I had to go to the eye doctor and get a prescription for my new lenses. So in 2 weeks, I will have a new set of glasses catered to my new eyeballs.
Did you get them in Vermilion?
So anyway,
Target red.
I thought it was recess, but then they said, no, that's gym. And so they were exercising in gym. And so I had sat back and I heard my wife exclaim, finally, they got some good music going on at gym class.
My 72-year-old mother is loving when they kick in Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, we took breakdancing lessons years ago, and we used to break dance.
You took line dancing lessons.
That's close to breakdancing.
Line dance.
For 72-year-old, that's line breakdancing. No. For 72-year-olds is actually line dancing.
Boot scooting, boogie, and Cotton Eye Joe. We can dance to those. So I just sat back and listened to the music, and Avery was having a blast with Grandma.
That's awesome.
It was frightening. So.
And I also saw something that I cannot let go. I just can't. The hairdo. I'm telling you.
And you're welcome, Bill.
For what? All the ammunition for the next 6 weeks until it grows out?
I'm booking Megan out. So she's booking up fast. You got to wear a mask. We got to do it under the cover of darkness because of the lockdown stuff going on. But we can get your hair close to this.
I have not seen anything like that. I don't even know. Like Marvel Comics has got nothing on you.
I tell you what, it's like the Human Torch, right?
Wow. Like the 1980s Kenny Loggins Footloose with the torch style. Hey, I mean, she did well. I tell you, she did well.
I was impressed. So I was like, oh man, it was getting long. And which I was like, okay. And I had the kind of the COVID beard kicking thing, and people were starting to call me Trucker Todd. And
I don't know why you got rid of that, by the way.
Well, it's just not right when you're eating food and stuff. It ain't cool. It wasn't. And then my mother was on me, so I did. And it was hard for me. I will say.
Did it for your mother?
Well, not even that. For some of it. I mean, if she listens to this, absolutely, 100%. But for the other flip side of that it was tough because I had grown this thing. And when I get attached, I drive the same truck like I'm forever because I get attached. It's no different. So I'm looking at my hair and some days you're like, man, it's coming off. And then you have that one day where you're like, I look like a freaking rock star. So then you can't cut it because you're waiting now for another 8, 9, 10 days, however long it takes before that rock star look hits you again in the mirror. And then I added the beard in there and I was like, hey, look at this. And then some people were saying I was Trucker Todd and stuff like that. But I thought, okay, I will put it to a poll on Facebook. So I will tell you the poll was very close. Do you want to know what the deciding factor was that I would say, okay, my 13-year-old daughter who has never cut anybody's hair in their life can now embark on cutting my hair? You want to know what that factor was?
I would love to know what the thought was that went through your mind to say, yep, let's get this thing happening.
The poll was, I don't even know how many people voted, but it was one more for get a haircut and shave the beard or at least trim it. So I got the short goatee now, but the deciding factor was it was all men that said to leave it and all women that said to get it cut. Full stop, dude. I don't drink tea. That hair is coming off. That's just how it is.
I'll drink my tea and keep my beard. It's just the way it's going to happen.
Is that the leveling factor? That's like it tips the scale. He's drinking tea. We're not sure. Oh, but he's got a beard. Wait, I mean, I need to see a fella tree.
I tell you, the beard has grown longer than the beard tarp that covers it now, which is great. That was my measuring stick when I got the beard tarp, which I mentioned.
The mask, the mask that covers the beard. So yeah, I'm with you.
It was pretty level to the bottom of the beard, and I don't want to say too much. But my wife got me a few products for the beard over for Christmas. And they seem to be working quite well to keep the health into the beard and grow it.
And that was the other factor. You got to get beard oil. And now it's a whole thing where you got to, like, you're doing more work on your beard. That just didn't feel masculine to me. I'm almost ready to say beards are not masculine.
Easy.
I'm sorry, but
we're going to end the podcast. Episode,
my most experience that I've had with people with beards is they drink tea and they have to what moisturize their beard. What do you call that? I don't even want condition their beard, get oils and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Now you're into the venture of too much work.
You're the same guy that doesn't clean his guns.
Yeah, it's too much work. Why clean? It's going to get dirty again.
I heard you on the last podcast. I didn't want to say anything. Said I had to retire my 870, and I nearly chimed in. It's because it didn't work because it's so gummed up from not being clean.
No, it's impossible. You can't do that to an 870.
Yeah. Instead of cleaning it, you just retire it.
No, you put a shell in that thing. Even today, with it sitting in the gun cabinet for I don't know how many years, probably rusted all up on the insides. You put a shell in it. You get it closed, right? If you get that far, a screwdriver and a hammer on the trigger, and then have your buddy hold the barrel away, my man, that thing's back to cycling just fine.
Public service announcement for everybody who's listening. I'm sure this won't be the first public service announcement we have today. Don't try that at home.
No, I've actually done it. I've had to do it in the goose field. Scotty held my barrel. I was the first flock come in, and that thing didn't go. It's rusted. It's seized, man. So, all right, here, hold it. I ran to the truck, grabbed a screwdriver, I actually had to drive home. Grab a screwdriver, grab a hammer, come back. Scotty held the barrel one way, and I pounded that sucker, and boom! That was good. Blew all the rust out of her. The action ready to rock. We're good to go. Shooting geese.
Don, I got to ask, do you clean your guns?
Oh, all the time.
He's retired. He's got nothing to do but line dance to Cotton Eye Joe.
I love an evening where we're sitting watch TV. I'll spread a sheet out on the living room floor. I'll sit down there, line the guns all up, and I'll just watch TV and enjoy the evening and just go through one at a time, taking them apart, clean them, put them back together. It's awesome. I love it.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, Todd. I don't know what you do with your time, but it's certainly not grow a beard and clean guns. So.
Yeah. Anywho, okay. Divert. What did you do this week, Bill?
Hey, I just smoked out a rabbit yesterday.
With your car?
Well, I mean, does it matter?
No. Let me say the only thing that does matter is you almost got a rabbit.
I did.
That's all that matters. Full stop. We don't need to hear anymore.
Yeah, the rabbit I think felt bad because as soon as I turned onto my road, I was coming up the road and it darted out in front of me and I had to swerve for it and I missed. I didn't want to do it in for the one and only rabbit I was.
You swerved away from it, or you swerved toward it?
I know. I didn't hear a flump, so I didn't get it. So it's still there, and I look for it today.
So you drive like you shoot.
Yeah, I mean, I let it a little bit, but it kind of cut back. I almost got a rabbit yesterday. Yeah, first rabbit I seen all year, and it was in my car driving home. So. Even the wildlife is feeling sorry for me now. They're jumping out in front of my
I think they're more just taunting you. You were never going to get that rabbit. They're like, here comes the almost guy. Watch this.
Yeah.
I don't even have to move and I'm safe. No. If you're going to play chicken with a car and you're a rabbit, Bill Thom is the car to play chicken with.
That's it.
I got up this morning, Bill, and my wife's heading for the front porch with a carrot. I said, where are you going with that carrot? She says, for the rabbit. It's under our front porch. Every morning there's a rabbit out there waiting for the carrot.
Good to know. There was a rabbit under.
You know what the other funny thing is? There's a rabbit living under my hunting shed.
And you're not allowed to hunt it.
No, I'm not. This is the life I live. They live underneath my hunting shed, knowing that I can't do anything about it.
It's like the geese in the parks in the city. They know they're safe.
Yeah. But yeah, that was it. And you know what? My wife didn't try to kill me this week, so I guess no death by veggie allergies. No, we've kind of got that straightened out there, where the meals are getting better, and my.
Oh, is she getting it from a box? Is it getting delivered to your door?
No, she's actually she made the most beautiful venison stir fry with rice yesterday. It was awesome.
Well.
And had some homemade teriyaki sauce to go with it. I tell you what, it was top shelf.
You know how to shut me up on this podcast because I respect your wife too much to chirp.
Yep, that's kind of where I was going with that. If I had said I didn't make a thing. I haven't made a thing besides. No, I made a cedar plank salmon on the weekend. I showed you.
Yes,
I showed you that salmon.
Yeah, bite me. It looked good.
It was awesome.
I will give you that. It looked good.
Yeah, and I did cedar plank salmon on the barbecue with some jalapeno peppers on top, and we had a nice little bit of potatoes, which was kind of our cheat day.
What are your kids going to do when they go off to like university or college?
Well, I've wondered that because my daughter goes to college. If you can believe it, my oldest daughter applied to college, and she should be going in September if the world rights itself. You know?
You're so old. Not you, Candace. You're young. But Bill, you are so old.
And I wonder because, you know, with this homeschooling stuff, Candace is working from home, which is awesome. The boss has given her the opportunity to work from home. But I promise you, if it wasn't for my wife being home, those kids would still be sleeping and work wouldn't have been done around the house. I was telling your dad before I got here, I got home from work and the driveway wasn't even shoveled. What do you kids do all day? You're home the entire day. If your mom's not here, I guarantee you're not getting up, you're not eating, and you're not doing schoolwork. So you're absolutely right. I fear for my kids when they decide to
the only reason I said that,
around.
that's natural habitat. If their laneway was shoveled, I'd think, okay, these parents beat their kids because I've never seen a kid that will shovel the laneway. So I'd be suspect. But I was more thinking when they go off, they're gonna like be introduced to I gotta eat a grilled cheese, or I gotta cook this myself, and they every day. Every weekend, you're sending me cedar plank salmon, and now Candace is in the kitchen whipping up stuff. My gosh.
Yep. Yeah, they're going to get a culture shock quick when they have to figure out how to boil water and put an egg in it or something.
Or
ramen noodles.
Or they've been watching, and they may razzle dazzle. They'll be cooking for everybody on campus.
How do you watch from your room with a computer or a TV or a cell phone in front of you?
Kids, you need to be around. It's growing up. They're inherent with it. They can multitask now.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, that was kind of my week. I did a little bit of cooking, did some, rabbit hunting, and here we are.
Rock and roll.
Podcast night again.
Yeah, right on.
And,
And Dad,
what about you? You got some. Got some stuff going on there besides the cooking.
I didn't know if I was going to share this, and I knew you'd say, "What did you do this week?" But I have actually. So I've worked out for 11 years. To November 2011, I think, is when I hit the gym. I started Insanity prior to that program. Beachbody. Yeah, your wife's like a Beachbody coach, right? So it's like she understands this. So
used to be, huh?
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. So I started with that, and then I hit the gym, and it was all. Get super lean, which I already was, but I went down to 120 pounds. We went through all that crap. But I then have been hitting the gym forever, and it's tough for me to put on weight. And if you can't put on weight, how are you going to put on muscle? You can't turn bone into muscle. And so I got friends from the gym that I'm on with Instagram and that, and I see all their posts, and they're posing and flexing, and some of them are on stagers, right? Like they go to these competitions. And so they're always giving big ups to their personal trainer. And I thought, I don't have a gym membership anymore. And so I just having conversations. Of course, my phone knew that I was thinking about this. So I actually signed up for a 90-day personal trainer. And so, it was a pretty good deal. So I couldn't not sign up for it. And you get the workout plan. I get a meal plan. I get dietary. I get it actually listed out for me every day, we're talking under $50 for the 90 days. So I couldn't go wrong. And I was kind of skeptical on it, but hey, why not? But it had great reviews. It's V-Shred is the name. But so I've started, I work out every morning anyway, but it's kind of gotten monotonous, right? Like, how do you do so much? And it's a home gym, which luckily I built before COVID because the prices got nuts. But so now I've got a whole new workout. I'm re-energized. So that's what I've been doing. And
it's good.
Yeah, I've been going down and hitting it a little bit harder. So we're going to see what this can do. Now I'm going to have to, I've printed off the recipes for Jen to have to go to the grocery store when we don't get our food that is farm fresh delivered in a box to the door, so that I can like smash through it on Sunday, make all my portions, and then I'm going to eat through that through the week, hopefully, and we'll see how this starts to go. So that was my week, pretty much. It's been working and working out. But
I'll tell you though, I had a real nice reach out from Les.
Yeah, of Redneck Country Studios that has made all of this possible.
Yep, and he had a real nice reach out. I was trying to figure out if he's pulling my leg or not based on the recipe.
And you really do. He's got quite the sense of humor, I'm going to tell you.
Does he?
Oh,
yeah,
he
well, I'm going to give it a shot, and it may be one of those things. I'm not going to give the recipe or nothing on the podcast, but it not now anyways. But he said give it 3 weeks, and I've been doing this thing with Candace and the workouts and stuff, and I've lost a little bit of weight. I'm not going to say how much right yet, but I've lost a little bit of weight. But to lose inches, he gave me this recipe, and he warned me in advance that it's going to be a chore to take even a tablespoon, 1 tablespoon at night and 1 tablespoon in the morning. But if it worked for him and he's not pulling my leg,
I know he was saying this at Christmas. It's working for him and my cousin, right? So there's a few doing it that I know.
All right,
yeah.
So you can validate this.
Absolutely. He's not pulling your leg, and I wouldn't validate it just to join in on the joke, Bill, in any way, shape, or form. So, but no, Dad, you can back this up. This is legit. Les is hitting him off with some.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. And super guy. He'd do that. I could see him doing that for sure.
Yeah, he reached out.
So now I'm almost afraid to ask. And before we go to Dad and say, what did you do this week? Which we already got a little bit, but I'm almost afraid to ask this. So when I work out, I think everybody would understand that I'm cranking protein and I'm lifting weights. I mean, big weights, heavy weights, Olympic bars, bench presses, dumbbells. Now you said you're working out, and I'm just assuming it's going to be like, you don't have any weights. You have your TV in front of you. Is that what you're assuming? And you're following like Jane Fonda? Is it that kind of workout?
You know who Jane Fonda is?
Only because Sir Mix-a-Lot mentions it in his song.
Right. Right. No, I'm doing a program called Lift 4, and it's a Beachbody workout. It's a mix of, I get angry every single time I do the workout, every time, because there's an element of heavy sets, and then there's some cardio, and then there's an ab workout every time. It's 4 days. It's not full 5 days of like an hour and a half workout. It's 40 minutes or less with a warm up, cool down, but it's high intensity. Go.
It's a hit.
Like 15 seconds. It's exactly right. It gives you 15 seconds between reps, and I get angry. I'm like, just 5 more seconds. And it's almost like he can hear me. No, let's go. Come on, get up, go. And I get mad. So my family knows, do not go downstairs when Dad's working out. He's either going to throw something at you, he's going to be a comment, a look, or something. They know, just stay away for 40 minutes, and then Dad will come up and he'll be better. That's it. So, but
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Every one of my days has ended in HIIT, by the way. Lift heavy weights and then do a little session of HIIT. Yep. So anyway, we're quickly turning this into a workout podcast. Like, we're covering the gambit, man. We've gone through like cooking podcast type deal intros. Now we're doing workout type deal. It's like we're jack of all trades.
That's it.
So now let's learn about pharmaceuticals. Dad, what did you do this week?
Same thing. Walking and cooking. I set a new record again this week, Bill.
Oh, yes, I got this. He was so pumped coming in the door. He had to show everybody. I had his phone up.
Yeah, I took a screenshot. I put a new record, 22,500 steps over 11 kilometers in one day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Did somebody have to pick you up and take you home?
What's that?
Did somebody have to pick you up and take you home? They thought you might have been lost. You went so far out of town, and then
nobody comes looking for me, Bill.
No.
Nobody even asks where you've been. They just want to know when you're going back.
And here I'm thinking we're only 500 more steps to me inheriting a bunch of guns.
No.
Yeah.
No. I am feeling great. Like, I am pumped. And
good deal.
And of course, This week I barbecued again. My wife loved that steak the other night. She had another prime rib steak and presented it to me, and she says, "Can we do this again?" And so, I mean, it was snowing, it was cold, but I took that summer barbecue.
He persevered.
Yeah, I put that summer.
I'm thinking you got set up.
Well,
I'm thinking you got set up the first time, and now she just wants to see how far she can push it.
Well, could be, but you know what? I enjoy them too, so I love to eat. So, but anyway, I remembered that barbecue of what we did with Nick. It was Nick that told us about barbecue. Remember?
Yep.
And so anyway, I cranked that barbecue up high. I let it get good and high, and then I went out and turned it down low, threw the steak on it, closed the lid, let it sear both sides, and then cooked it nice and slow. And oh man, was it good! Tender, moist. It was awesome.
We owe Nick a lot.
Yeah.
And
did you get the compound butter?
Yeah.
yes, I have the compound.
You
butter.
have the compound butter. Hold the phone. Did you raid my freezer?
Yeah.
Was it mine?
It was
because he's here every day. See, he stole my compound butter.
Some of yours, and that other butter you had with the garlic in it, that was awesome too. But either way, well then,
he did.
Okay,
he stole
now
my compound butter.
It's getting on tax season. It's the end of January. It's coming on tax season, and Jen's busy. Todd's wife, Jen, she worked home, did some work from home on this weekend, brought home work with her, like it's tax time again. And so I said to Jen Sunday night, I said, "Okay, don't worry about supper because Todd's box meals hadn't come in the mail yet." So I said, "Don't worry about supper Monday
Farm
night.
fresh.
I'm going to cook supper Monday night." She says, "Okay, anytime you want to do that, that's fine with me." So I cooked breaded pork patties, and with it we had gravy, mashed potatoes, cream corn, niblet corn, peas and carrots, and stuffing and Yorkshire pudding.
Was that Sunday or Monday?
That was Monday night.
Monday night.
I told her Sunday that I would cook some Monday night. Right. So when I says, "Call me when you leave." And so when she walked in the door, I said, "Supper's only 10 minutes out." We sat down and ate.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, you had me right up till cream corn.
Well, the cream corn was
everything
for my
else
wife.
was
yeah. The cream corn
everything
was for
else
my
was
wife.
good.
When we have
my wife likes cream corn too. I don't understand it.
When we have mashed potatoes, she has to have cream corn on them. Me, I'll put butter, gravy, anything. I didn't eat the cream corn, but I had everything else.
Jen puts cream corn on her mashed potatoes.
The Yorkshire puddings. Yeah, the Yorkshire puddings were terrific.
And you donate, Bill?
Turned out great. Oh man, yeah, it was good. It's odd.
No.
Yeah.
The Yorkshire puddings. I'd never figured out how to make those, but I always like eating them. Somebody else makes.
Yeah, I tell you, it was pretty good. I had a couple pork cutlets. They were all right.
Yep. That was good supper. So that was me.
You're pretty spoiled over there, Todd. I tell you right now.
Yeah. It's a trade-off. We won't get into that. Maybe Nick can bring some light on with his father, but in similar respects, you'll get the idea. Yeah. But yeah, so tonight we've got Nick on. We're pretty pumped. Nick Oberemok from Pond Predator Fishing, and he's been slamming the ducks. And duck season just ended, and I've been jealous nonstop. So I'm pumped to hear what his secret sauce is this year, because it was extra special this year. So I'm kind of pumped to hear what he's changed up, what he's done, and how well he has done. And I kind of know because we're buddies, and I've been seeing it on Facebook, and we share the odd message, and I don't like to talk to him much because I get jealous, and then I'm going to rage out on him. So I keep it to a minimum. But yeah, so we got Nick coming on, so I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him since the Muskie trip. I'm anxious to hear what he's been up to.
Yeah, right on. Well, let's bring him on. Okay, so we've got the one and only, back by popular demand, Mr. Nick, and I'm going to screw up your name as I always do, Oberemok. How'd I do?
You got this. Pretty good.
I got this.
You got this. We've had him on enough times now that you should be able to figure out what his name is.
Yeah, I like to just keep him on the ropes. Keep screwing him up.
Yeah.
So before we get going, Nick, you are a chef, and I need to brag because I am sitting here and just finished making turkey involtini.
I have a hard time. No, please don't.
No. Wait, cut off. Don't cut off our guests. Go ahead, Nick. Let me bring it in again. turkey in what is it? Involtini.
You got that in syllables spelled out to you on the recipe card there.
Involtini.
Unbelievable.
Involtini. That's a syllable food.
Are you kidding? I'm not sure if you've listened to a couple previous podcasts, but this guy here is taking credit for something out of a box and calling it his own creation.
It is my no. It is that good fresh or whatever the flip you call it. You order it, you get fresh, but you still got to cook it and prepare it. There's still talent and skill there. It's just I have to overcome my manliness and actually read the directions, also known as a recipe that comes with it too. But regardless.
You just heard of rosemary for the first time 2 podcasts ago.
Which looks like a pine branch, but it tastes freaking awesome. I'll tell you what. Do you ever cook with rosemary?
Oh my God. Yeah, I cook with rosemary all the
time.
So do you chop it or do you mince it?
It depends on what you're doing with it.
Good answer. See, I was a test.
Now he's lost.
You passed.
Now Todd is out of question.
Okay, enough about that. Let's go to something I know something about. So this year, we're good buddies, and so we're on the social media platforms, and I almost had to block you because you're like killing ducks every freaking day. Am I wrong in saying that?
It was the best year I ever had in my life for mallards.
And mallards, because you're like on the lake, so typically diver ducks too, right? But this year, like
I didn't even bother hunting diver ducks this year because I was doing so well with puddle ducks. So I think I only went out for diver ducks 2 days, and both days are kind of crappy.
And you had to go out in big water, which is scary as crap. I'm right though. You're going out in freaking November, like it's absolutely stupid on a Great Lake. Nope, checking out.
So, what are you hunting mallards of? That big boat that we went out fishing in, there's no way you're hunting mallards out of that.
Well, what I saw was constructed.
My aluminum boat.
Ah.
That Goodrow boat, 18-foot Goodrow boat that I have. We use that.
You're not hunting out of that though, are you?
No, I built a blind. I was hunting my blind.
But
we just use that boat. I have a boathouse and a spot to park the boat and everything. We built a beautiful blind last year.
So you build this thing on the lake. Do you have any problem with guys punking it? You get out there,
No, actually, it's not on the lake. It's on private property.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah. So I don't have to worry about nobody going in it.
So you're pretty confident going out there. You're not going to run into somebody early morning in the dark as you're driving out. Somebody sitting in it.
And actually, no, I didn't have any problems this year. The few guys that do hunt that area, they all know it's my blind, and they just stayed out of it. No problems. I didn't have any issues.
Right on.
I got a guy that hunts near me. He hunts about 130, 140 yards to the side of me. But last year, so he's kind of a little bit of a sky buster. But last year, we were kind of splitting the ducks up, divvying them up. Some would go to him, some would go to us. I don't like, that's my biggest pet peeve is when people sky bust him. But this year he wasn't as bad. But we shot a lot of ducks this year compared to him. And I think has all to do with motion.
What do you mean?
Motion decoys? Oh, break it down for me. Okay, so let's set the scene. So your blind is I'm going to guess because you're hunting mallards, you're up close to shore.
Yeah, I'm like at a tributaries off of the lake.
Right on. So it's pretty shallow water.
Yeah, it's right against the back of the shore. Yeah, it's on the shore. So
and then your decoy spread. What's it consist of? Is it similar like when we went out?
No, except for all the extra add-ons I did this year, guys. Because I said to myself last year, after I finished my season last year, I was thinking about what I can do the following year to make my hunt better. And I was studying a lot about mallards and mostly pressured mallards. And, in the States, they all swear by jerk rigs, every single one of them. You don't hunt in the States without a jerk rig.
So you're talking put them on a line and then you just start pulling the line to make movement in your
you pull them on a line. There's a bungee cord to an anchor. You stretch the bungee cord, you let the line go, and it pulls the decoys back.
I'm feeling like that's a lot of work. When you're seeing the birds coming in, you got to start jerking the line. You're trying to call. You're trying to keep your dog ready to rock. You're trying to make sure and remember, if it's me, did I put 3 shells in? All while this is going on. That's a lot of work.
Well, I mean, duck hunting in general is a lot of work, right? Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, putting all the decoys out, doing all that stuff. So
it depends who you go with.
A jerk rig. running a jerk rig, knowing that you're going to shoot extra ducks, if it's going to make your day that much better, it's not really that much extra work.
No, that's
what you've been doing.
What are you doing? You stringing, you got half a dozen of them together on the same line, or how does that?
Yeah, I got 5. I was using 5 on one jerk rig, but I also bought some extra decoys. I run about 4 dozen floaters, and I bought 2 Higdon Battleship swimmers. They got little, I don't know if you guys have seen these things, but they're pretty fantastic. They have like bilge pumps underneath them.
Yeah, I see.
And they
those.
have like a line, and they suck in the water and they propel themselves through the water. It's kind of cool.
Oh, really? That's neat.
Yeah. So I set my decoys, and I make 2 big open ponds, and I put 1 Higdon Battleship in each pond. And I also got a few of the Higdon pulsator flippers. They're like feeders, and they flip over and they kick the water up in the air, so it looks like a bunch of ducks are feeding. You know what I mean? So I put those throughout my spread, and I have 2 Higdon splashers. The ones that are on a little puck. They suck up water and splash it on the wings, and the wings flap. And I put 5 lucky ducks on poles, and I had another lucky duck splasher. I'm not a big fan of that decoy, but I had that out there too.
What are you in for depth of water?
Gosh.
My deepest spot's about 14 feet.
Okay, so you're not able to wade out and put your decoys out. You're running a boat to drop them, and you see the flooded timber, and the guys are in chest waders out there able to set their decoys and go back to their blinds and stuff. You're actually taking the boat, backing it up, taking the boat. That's a lot more work than walking through a cornfield. I tell you that right now.
Yeah, we have to use the boat. It's way too deep. Even right where the blind is. We've seen muskies swimming through our decoys there.
Oh yeah, that's a combo hunt right there. Yeah. grab your rod and the ducks aren't going. At least you can catch a muskie or something. But it sounds like you didn't really have much time.
No, I didn't even try it. I've always wanted to try fishing and hunting at the same time there, but I told myself I was going to try this year, but I never tried. We were just having way too much fun with those ducks. Like this is no joke. So that guy, like I said, he's about 130 yards up the creek of me. We were calling down flocks of mallards with 100 to 150 birds from the clouds, seeing our spread, and were dropping and circling us and circling us and circling us. I've never experienced that in my life for mallards. You guys hunt field. I know that happens in the field, but hunting the water, I've never had 150 mallards buzzing all around me at the same time. So I've had diver ducks do it, but never mallards. So that was awesome. Seeing that. I didn't even know which one. I didn't think I even shot one. I think I shot at one I missed, and I didn't know where to shoot by the time I shot. It was crazy. I'd never seen that before.
Duck fever. There's so many that, and then by the time you get your head wrapped around it, they're flying away.
Yeah, exactly. But that was pretty cool. And, we had a lot of late season good hunts, and I swear it's because of the motion in the water. Like I said, that guy hunts right next to us, and they were not diving into them. Most of the birds he shot were birds that would circle around and come into us and circle over them. You know what I mean? And
you run motion all season or just in the late season?
I ran it all season.
Yeah.
From the start to the end.
That's because that's such an investment. You better have them suckers in there like every day.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It costs a lot, man. I bet
you I spent $1,200. I think I spent on those decoys.
And to add to your 4 dozen that you already had.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're $1,200 in for all the motion on top of the 4 dozen floaters that you already had. Yeah.
Well, and I already had all the lucky duck.
You had the spinning wing guys.
I already had all those.
Yep. Holy jumping. And so, okay, tell me. So how do you do this jerk rig deal? So how close are they? I've never done it. Right. So are they coming in? You're just trying to, is it like flagging a goose in a field where they're 200 yards out and you're trying to get their attention? They get to about 100 within 100 and you put the flag down, put it away. Or do you just keep doing it as they're coming to keep the confidence kicking?
You do it as they're coming. Like I'd say when you're doing your plead call, when you're doing a pleading call, I don't do it as they're locked up coming right in. I do it as a plead. So when they're flying by, they're looking at me, I get their attention. I'll make a plead call, and that's when I pull my jerk rig, and that'll they'll be flying the other way, and that'll turn them in. You'll see them, they'll bank in. Like it
What's
works.
a plead call?
Plead, like I don't know. You have your
Come
hail
here,
call
please.
when you're far
Come
away,
here.
and then a plead is basically a shortened up hail. You know what I mean? Instead of going quack 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 quack, that's a hail call. A plead call, like quack 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 quack, and then as they get closer, you make it softer and softer and softer. So like quack 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 quack, and then I just go right into my single quacks and feeder as they're locked up.
Don't stop, Nick. How does that go?
And then obviously,
my arms are
How are you
set,
still
man.
single?
I'm coming
just
in.
curious.
And I think the most important thing is with the comeback call, especially if you're hunting pressured area, like when you got someone next to you. Like if they don't come right in and they turn, because there's ducks all over the place. So if they turn, they see another flock of ducks or whatever, that comeback call, that making that real excited, fast call, like that turns them back almost, I say 8 times out of 10.
And then you get crazy feverish on the jerk line.
Like I said, yeah. Once I see them coming towards me, and they're circling up above me, they're circling around me, I don't go crazy on that. Just a little movement. Plus, I got my other decoys that are moving all together too, right? So I don't go nuts. I don't splash the water. I just give a little movement. It looks like there's 5 ducks kind of swimming in a row, and it just draws them in.
Okay, so
they're just so used to seeing
confidence, right?
What's the spread?
Yeah, they're just so used to seeing so much of the same stuff that they, I remember I was watching some American guys on YouTube one time, and they were talking about they said it best. They said, down here in the South, by the time the ducks get shot up from the Canada, by the time they get all the way to us, they've seen every decoy, they've been shot at, they've heard every call, and it's no, look at end season compared to the beginning of the season for us, or those, even the newer ducks, the young ducks. By the time the northern ducks come down, those young ducks are pretty smart.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's because they're flying a gauntlet, getting shot at and called at, and seeing decoys every single day, morning and night. And they get smart pretty quick when people are sky busting them and stuff. Like they smarten up real quick. So you got to give them something different. You got to do that little extra work and give them something different. So they tone into it. Like I put a drone up in the air, and I looked at my spread from the sky about 500 feet up, and you should see it, man. It looks like a flock of real ducks moving around, swimming around, splashing, eating, feeding.
Dude, you got to send me that video. I want to see that.
I will. Yeah, I'll send it to you. I put them in my backyard when I first got them. I'll send you the video.
That's
just
wicked.
before. Yeah.
That's weird. So
what? It's 500 feet in the sky, and they're just, you can see them splashing around, moving around. It looks like real ducks.
So what's the
as
spread
opposed to a
look
decoy
like?
in the calm water just sitting there.
Like, are you putting them out in like little families? Or are you putting them in like a V? Like, I'm assuming you're putting them in little families, and you're putting that. What did you call the one that made the waves in the middle?
Oh,
right?
Yeah, those two battleships. They're called battleships.
Yeah, battleships.
I put them in my pockets. So early season, I keep my spread wide. Like I don't put the decoys close together. I keep everything spread out, and I make a bigger spread. And then as it gets cooler, the water gets cooler, and the air gets cooler, the ducks kind of huddle together a little bit more. So late season, I'm keeping like really tight ducks. Like you don't want them touching. You can't have them touch. But my decoys are as close as they can get without touching.
No doubt.
And then I have just a couple little pockets for them to come in. You know what I mean? In the early season, I have big pockets, and it's a lot easier to pull them down. But late season, I tighten up my pockets, and I'm basically just getting them close enough so I don't let them land. I shoot them over the decoys, but they don't really have a good place to land late season for me. Like I'm just bringing them down to look for the most part. You know what I mean? And I'm getting them as they're going over top. But they're spooky, man. They're spooky. Like like I said, we were shooting ducks after New Year's this year still. Like, those ducks, like I said, they've seen everything by January. Like Christmas, by December, they've seen everything.
So you're not taking the chance of having a pocket and thinking they're going to drop in. You're just trying to, okay, let's coax them within gun range.
I have pockets, but my pockets, like they're definitely not big enough for 20, 30 ducks to try and land into.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? My pockets are for like 3 ducks. So like I said, I've never had big flocks of mallards, like puddle ducks coming in like I did this year. Like it was insane. Like we had a flock of pintails, about 40, 50 pintails.
That'd be neat.
It was awesome. Again, I didn't pull the trigger. I was trying to grab my phone.
What?
I was trying to grab my phone to get a video of it. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't even know who you are. Did your dad get one? He took the shot, but he missed?
Yeah, he missed.
We'll edit that out, Mr. Oberemok.
Yeah. I wish I'd even shoot. When I had those 150 mallards, I wish I would have just pulled my phone out and videotaped it because they were circling me for like 4 minutes. And it was awesome. It was just amazing.
The sound, I bet, that the whistling wing would have been phenomenal.
Bill, they were going right over the blind. I had some of them hovering like little helicopters right above my blind. Oh, it was insane. And then there was more up high coming down, and then there was like they were everywhere, man. Everywhere you looked, up high, down low, they were just flying all around us. So I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that gets the blood pumping. I tell you what,
it's both. It's a double-edged sword. Because that gets the blood pumping, but you don't know when to pull the trigger because you got layers of them. And so that first, if you take shots at the first, there's 12 there, but there's 40 coming down and there's 60 behind them. Well, when do you pull the trigger? And then before you know it, they're all gone. And you're standing there with your hand.
I'll tell you when you pull the trigger. You know what? If you're going to pull the trigger, I've learned my lesson. So I learn my lesson every year. I make the same mistake every year. You always get greedy. And you have one coming in and you have a good shot. And you're like, oh no, there's 8 more behind them. And you let the one go by or whatever. And then all of a sudden, guess what? You don't shoot any ducks.
You sound like Dad. That's Dad. I ain't letting them pass anymore. Good grief. Like we'll have one duck and he won't even, he says he doesn't see the 10 geese coming. So it'd be 2 geese coming across and 10, 15 behind them. And so we're all going, okay, guys, let the 2 land. We'll bring the 15 in. Let the 2 land. The 2 just come close enough. He's up. Bam, bam. What the flip is going on? What? I got them. They're both dead. What about the 15 you just scared away? Oh, I didn't see them. Yeah, I don't know about that. He's not even grabbing his mic. He's just sitting there grinning. Enough said, folks. Enough said.
It's like, let this one go over.
You know what? I think the most important thing with ducks, though, is your calling. And if you can't call a mallard, don't call. Like, you know what I mean? If you're not very good on a mallard call, put the mallard call back in your bag and practice when you're at home or when you're driving. You think it's that
important, eh?
It's, 100%. We hunted with a guy, and he liked to do this certain call, and I hate to bash on him, but it was getting to the point that we told him that you can't bring your call anymore.
No, okay, stop. Full stop. Right there. I want to know how that went. Can I ask, how did you muster up to have a conversation to say, put the call away? Not saying that I hunt with anybody that I need to say this to, but how did you approach that conversation?
Because we lost like 60. We had like a flock of 20 coming in, and he flared them. And then we had another flock of like 10 or 15 come in, and he flared them. And then that day, I think we only shot 3 ducks that entire day we were with them. And the guy helped us. The guy hunted a lot with us, right? Or especially early season. Like he helped us with the blind and stuff this year. So we took him along. And he's an older guy too. Eh? So I like taking him. But my God, he just kept scaring ducks every time we go. We would take them. We'd shoot 1, 2 ducks between all 3 of us. The next day I go with just me and my dad, and we get our limit. You know what I mean? It was plain as day. You could see it.
Oh, see, I've had that, but I usually do it out of frustration. So I'm unfiltered. I just yell it. It just comes out. I don't think I could have a conversation saying that. Kudos.
Yeah, I just told him straight up, and he kind of got upset. He threw the duck call in the water at first, and I was like,
you can go pick those up.
I just built his confidence. I said, you're way better on the feeder call than me. I'm like, what you need to do is you need to keep on that feeder call, man. Like you keep on that feeder call because you're the best feeder caller I've ever heard of, and let me I'll take care of the hail and the pleat. My dad will do single quacks, and we'll get him in. And, he would do it, and then it would be great for the rest of the day. And then the next day he'd come out with us and he'd do his week. What did my dad My dad had a nickname for the call. I forget. Oh, he called it the woodchuck. We called it the woodchuck. It didn't sound horrible, but the ducks picked up on it, and he would just do like 7. It'd kind of be like a quack 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 quack, like 7 in a row. and I'm telling you, you don't think it would scare the ducks because it's not like he was like making this crazy loud piercing sound or anything. But I watched them birds flare like every time he would do it. Flare, flare, flare.
So if you can't call, leave the calls in the bag and let the decoys do the talking.
Yes, you're way better off. You will shoot way more ducks if you just leave that call in the bag and don't bother calling. Just leave it alone.
After this, I tell you what, we are going to have so many ringtones for folks to download off of our website. So head on over to the redneckcountry.com because get your own Nick Oberemok duck call ringtone coming at you.
Did you change your ammunition up this year at all? Did you change your gun, or was that all the same as last year?
No, it's pretty much the same. I was shooting 3-inch score number 4s.
Yeah.
Me and Todd have had this discussion many times. Like we killed a lot of ducks, but you have to hit them in the head, but I'm shooting most of my ducks are 20 to 35 yards.
I shot 4s for years when I was duck hunting on the lake. Whether it was bluebills or mallards, I had 4s in the gun. Maybe I'd go to a 2. Maybe.
I think I'm going to go to 2 next year just to try, because you see the odd duck. You see the odd duck flying away and you're hitting it and the damn thing just keeps flying away. You're just like, come on, what is happening here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pull feathers. There's feathers floating all around you. And the thing
feathers coming out of it. It's
to
just
falter
flying
and
away.
then he
It
just
doesn't even
flies away. You're like, what just happened there?
Yeah. What happened? It just keeps going.
Bring my steel back, please. I can reload that.
Yeah, the dog just stopped staring at it in space as it flies away. And then the dog's looking at you like,
you're an idiot.
Why didn't you shoot it?
Made that guy. You made that guy throw his call in the water. Now you can't even hit him when they come in 10 yards.
But I generally shoot a modified. I shoot a modified choke, and I've been shooting a Beretta A400 for 4 years now. I love that gun. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And your dog, that's a big help too.
Oh yeah. She loves it, and she's a little older. She just turned 9. I don't hunt her. Once though, and a lot of duck hunters will argue this, but they'll say you can hunt your dog in cold water, whatever. To each their own. For me, my dog, I don't let her go in the water once it's under 40 degrees. Yeah. That water hits 40 degrees, my dog's out. She stays in. She comes with me, but she stays in the blind in the boat.
She still comes with you, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How hard is it to keep her there when those ducks are falling? I bet
she's very disciplined. No, actually, you know what? I thought, because this is the first year I wouldn't let her, because she's getting older. I thought it was going to be a big deal. I thought she'd be shaking, going crazy to go. She just wants to be there with you. She's happy. Like when I shoot one, she's in the boat now. And at the end of the season, she knew she wasn't going in the water. She's in the boat. Like, let's go get them. And she gets up in the seat and she's just looking at it. And you come up to it and you grab it and you let her sniff it for a few minutes and she's good. She was happy. Just she's a smart dog though. Like she knows what's going on. She's not stupid.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what was the best? Did you get any banded birds this year?
I got a double band with a reward on it.
What?
That was the first, yeah. Banded in Pennsylvania of all places. But my biggest thing this year was I shot this giant mallard. He was close to 7-8 pounds. And I've never, ever killed a mallard that big in my life. I'm getting him mounted. I'm going to get him back in April and May. I'll send you guys a picture. But so I would start asking around about this mallard. I'm like, is it a tame duck? Like, what the heck's going on? And I found out that it definitely wasn't a tame duck. And
was it from your porch on your neighbor's farm?
I started looking into the genetics of mallards, and Ducks Unlimited has a really good podcast on the genetics of mallards. If anyone wants to listen, it's fantastic. It's hours long. But so what I learned is that east of the Mississippi, we never had mallards before. Mallards were introduced in Ontario and east in New York. And the mallards that they introduced were these farm-raised smaller mallards. And so from my understanding is the ducks that we shoot early season, you know how they're always smaller? We call them wait till the northerns come down, and the northern ones are bigger. Yeah. Well, the mallards that we shoot are eastern mallards early season. The mallards that we're shooting, the northerns that we so call them, are mid-continental mallards. There's 3 different genetics of mallards. Mid-continental, they're the ones coming from the northwest and stuff, and up in the prairies, and they work their way down to us. Okay. The western mallard is the original mallard. It's the most pure genetic mallard, I guess. Like it's the original mallard, what they always used to have, like
the OG.
And they're only they live in like California, and they go up to Alaska. That's their flyway. It's not that many. And people think that this was a western mallard that I shot. He somehow made his way over this way.
So if you were to shoot the pure mallards that are going to California north, they would be the size of the bird that you shot.
The ones that we shoot, this is bigger than the ones that like those mid-continental, those northerns, like a northern mallard, like those ones that we shoot up in the west, the west that come down to us. Like, sorry, so divided by the Mississippi, western mallards are only west of the Mississippi. Okay, east of the Mississippi is mid-continental and eastern mallard genetics. Okay, and like those northern ones, like you don't really see them. Like a 4-pound mallard is a big mallard. You know what I mean? That's a nice mallard, like 4 or 5 pound mallard. This thing was huge. I'll just send you guys a picture when we're done. It was massive.
Should have stayed out there. There's more anti-gunners out on that coast, on the west coast. He probably should have stayed on that flyway. Probably would have. That's why they're so big. They live forever. There's hardly any hunters out there.
Yeah. How many curls did he have?
He didn't have that many good curls. Like he wasn't. He probably only had like 2.5. Is that kind of ugly curl too? He wasn't the most prettiest duck I ever seen, but he was huge.
Yeah, mallard I got mounted. The biggest one I got, he's got 3 curls.
Yeah, 3 curls, a nice duck.
Yeah, it was a great day. It was a good story on that mallard for another time. But we always said, 2 curls. But when I finally shot a 3 curl, like that's going on the wall for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, a 3 curl duck is usually a pretty nice sized duck.
No doubt.
That's good. Sounds like you had a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a fantastic year, but I don't know. I'm going to tweak a few things. Next year, I'm going to build a blind that can tow behind my boat. Guys build blinds on their boats, but I want to build one that I can tow, and we're going to anchor it. Get to where we want to take it. We're going to anchor it, and then you can drive the boat in and out of it, so it's super easy for setting decoys. And also, I'm gonna make it so when you're in there, like if there's any waves hitting it, instead of the waves rocking your boat, the waves are gonna break on the side of the blind before they hit my boat, so the boat won't rock as much. You know what I'm saying? So when you're shooting on the lake, the boat isn't gonna rock as much up and down. But that's my project for next year.
That's a good project. Are you gonna have time for that, or are you gonna be out working? And
yeah, I'll make time for it.
He's single, Bill. He's got all the time in the world.
Yeah, I guess you do.
Makes me jealous. Duck hunting every day. My gosh. Okay, what was your best hunt? How many did you smoke? What was the most in one day?
We got a 6-man limit.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
That was our best hunt.
There was 42 of them. They lined all their boats up, but they got a 6-man. And all the guys on all the lakes met up afterwards, all in one spot for a group photo.
No, actually, we were hunting the Detroit River that day. To be honest with you, we weren't even hunting where I hunt. We hunted the Detroit River, and we had our three layout boats, and we all just took turns layout hunting.
You got a 6-man limit swapping out of the layout boats. Cause my gosh, that's a lot of ducks because you shoot them. Okay. You shot yours. Then you got to drive up in the boat, do the swap, drive back. Then the next guy shoots them. Then you got to drive up, do the swap, drive back. So that's some time, man. You guys must've been out there for a while, and there had to be a lot of ducks.
There was a lot of ducks, but we weren't swapping every single duck. Like they were coming in pretty heavy. So we just kind of like kept shooting kind of thing. You know what I mean? And then we pick up all the birds. swap them all out. I think my first time in the layout boat, I think I shot 3 or 4 my first thing in the morning. I got a triple and then I got a single, and then we swapped out, and then the other guys were shooting pretty good too. So actually, you know what? I think we were home by noon, like in my house, sitting down, watch TV by noon.
Man,
it was a pretty good day.
That's all right. I tell you,
go ahead, Tuff.
No, sorry. Well, I was just going to say we should have done this podcast back when duck season was still on, because now I'm all fired up. I want to go surprise Nick, show up on his doorstep.
Yeah, let's go hunting. But recipes. So you're being the chef, you got some good duck recipes that you're able to put into motion with all those birds hitting the water?
You know what I'm making? I made a lot of kielbasa with my ducks this year. I mixed it with pork, and actually I just got my new smoker, so we're going to smoke them this week. But I'm going to make probably about 40 pounds of kielbasa.
Kielbasa. I know the kielbasa. I'm a chef.
The other ducks we roasted quite a few. We were eating a lot of duck, but one thing I learned this year. I used to always pluck my ducks and dip them in wax. Excuse me. I used to always dip them in wax. And then I was talking to this old guy, and he's like, "Oh, when I was a kid, my grandfather owned an outfitter, and I used to have to pluck all the ducks every weekend for the American guys who used to come down." And he goes, "I'll show you how to pluck a duck." And so I gave him 6 ducks. And he goes, "Come on over. I'll pluck them. I'll show you how I pluck them." I'm like, "Okay." So I give this guy these ducks. I go over to his house, and I mean, I've always put dish soap in hot water. I've done that. I mean, that works. This guy used laundry soap, okay? And he dunked those birds in like just under boiling water, and in that laundry soap. And I'm telling you right now, like, you could wipe the feathers off this duck. You could wipe it. It was amazing.
It's meth duck. Throw it in there with your Tide Pods. You're having meth duck. No doubt. And they taste so clean.
Yeah. They tasted like like those Tide Pods. No,
that's right.
No, you
right.
didn't taste any soap or nothing. Like most of the soap stays in the feather.
And now we got to put a disclaimer on the frickin' podcast. Kids, don't go eating Tide Pod duck. We don't condone.
You had to rinse them off. Obviously, you had to rinse them off and stuff, but it didn't matter. It was worth the time to rinse them.
No doubt,
it's just so much worth it.
Yeah. So how fast could you just wipe the feathers off? Like, we're talking 10 seconds, dunk them and wipe them?
No, I mean, in all reality, from the time I dunked the bird to by the time I had it fully plucked was about 4 minutes,
That's
3.5, 4 minutes.
Still pretty good, man.
And it's easy, and it's easier than trying to pull all the feathers out if you can just get them off with a wipe. But I remember when we were living on the farm, that's what my grandfather did, not with dish soap, but he did the hot water trick, right? With chickens, when it was slaughter time or Thanksgiving or Christmas, he'd dunk them in hot water. Yeah, sure, that made it easy to take the feathers off, but never heard of the dish soap.
Well, the dish soap, the difference between a chicken and a duck is that the ducks have the oil in their feathers that keep them waterproof, right? The chickens don't have that. So that's why you got to add the dish soap. It breaks the grease in their feathers. So that's what makes the feathers, what makes them pull out nicer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The science behind it. The science.
Yeah, I mean, we get here to learn a lot when Nick's on this podcast.
I was shocked. I didn't think it. I thought the laundry soap was going to be a bust. I'm like, oh man, that's a little intense, a little aggressive. I thought they're going to be like soapy and not going to turn out, but they turned out just fine.
Tell you what, you think you're a hunter, and then you talk to Nick and you learn that no, Nick is a hunter. And why I say that is like, yeah, I study a little bit. I understand decoy spreads for geese, and I'll drive by a field and I'll watch how they react, and you walk out to scare them and they bunch up. Okay, don't make my decoys look like that. That's the danger side of things. But man, you talk to Nick, he's like, yep. Oh yeah, I'm on there. I'm listening to 3-hour podcasts. I understand the flyways. I know their genetics. I know where they come. You've got to eat and sleep and breathe mallard ducks before season even starts, so that when you get out there, you are one with the duck. That is duck hunting. That blows my mind.
The difference between, some people are very stubborn with their ways, how they do things. For me, I think there's something, because I don't think it's any different than fishing. And I think there's something to learn every single time you go out there. And when you're at the end of your day, you should be like, well, why do these birds flare? Why did this one turn? Or you should be thinking of stuff all day long, right? And then at the end of the day, think about your whole hunt, the wind that you had, how you had your decoys, what's working, what's not working. And then it gets to the point where you set your decoys. The first birds that come in, they don't do exactly what you want them to do. I'm out there changing my decoys, moving things. You know what I mean?
Me and you could get along with fines. Hear that, Bill? He understands.
Yeah, I hear that. You guys are very particular on that. And I get it, but Todd, I think you just take it to a level that Nick doesn't understand. He'd move a decoy 6 inches.
I don't know. I think Nick's right there with me. You get Nick in a field hunting geese, he might be out of the blind more than me moving decoys here there.
The birds will tell you what they want. That's all you got. You set your decoys. If the birds come in and they try and overland your decoys, or if they come in and they land at a different spot, or they go too far, or they don't land at all,
you got her.
The birds will tell you what they want every time.
Yeah, I agree with that too. You gotta adapt.
Yep.
And if something's not working, change it up.
Yep.
You don't run the same fishing lure the whole time you're out there. You change them up too. So
one thing, I'll give you a little secret. One thing I learned this year is, so I have that little Higdon puck one, the one that sits in the water on a puck and flaps its wings.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I know it. Yep.
Okay. So I always had that decoy. I feel like the ducks always marked off of that decoy as they're coming in. I always had it. So it would have been at the start of the spread, if the ducks are got to go over that decoy to land on the corner, on the outside corner of my spread, the birds would see that decoy. They'd come in and line themselves up off that decoy every single time. And I think that was the most important decoy I had out there for them to getting them to come right down close.
No,
that was new to your spread this year.
Yeah. Oh, I've had those kind of decoys before, but I just picked up on it this year that I was noticing that when I had that decoy off on that corner, that I was having better success with the birds coming in.
Yeah.
And, like I said, at the end of the day, you got to think about what went right, what went wrong. And that's something that was going right all the time. So now that's something that's going to be a vital part of my success in the future for sure.
The confidence builder.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, we appreciate it, Nick. Really appreciate you taking the time coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me again, guys.
Well, as usual, we're gonna have you back a bunch more times. And we got turkey season coming up, fishing season's coming up.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Hopefully, they're talking about some polar vortex eventually coming down. I don't know when that's going to come down.
Oh yeah, you want to get on the ice. That's right.
Man, you have no idea. You have no idea how bad I want to get on the ice.
Yeah, not yet. It just first cold day was today. We were -7 this morning. I'm up at Barrie, just close to Lake Simcoe, but there's no way.
I will tell you. For a while. I will tell you. We have a buddy, and Dad's buddy, my buddy, and Bill. You know him. You can consider him a buddy. I don't know if you want to, but we have a buddy. His name is the Growler, and he's been ice fishing for the last week and a half up north. Now he's up north, and he's slaying them. I mean, he's putting pictures, and I'm impressed because he's Dad's age. There's pictures every day showing up with him with walleye, and he is 16 feet. Yesterday was 15 feet. He is 16 feet from open water. Like in the pictures.
Are you kidding? Not a chance.
I'm not joking.
Not a chance.
There's his chair. There's the hole, and there's open water. And every day he posts on there, getting them again today. And it's just everybody's like, Growler, what are you doing? Like there's open water, and he's like, 15 feet.
There's lots of oxygen in the water. That's why he's getting them.
And blowing my mind.
Is he drilling holes or casting 16, 17 feet out there?
Yeah, right. He's trolling the edge with his four-wheeler along the edge of the ice. Yeah, no doubt.
I'm going for walleye tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah.
On your boat, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll slay them too.
Yeah, we'll try. I haven't been formed this fall yet.
We want pics, Nick.
All right, man. If I get them, I'll let you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Some pics.
Right on. Well, we appreciate your time, my man. We'll let you get going back to it. And definitely have you on again. But yeah, we'll talk, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, guys. See you, bud. Bye.
And that'll do it for this week, folks. For the Redneck Country Podcast, I'm Bill, the Almost Guy Tom.
And I'm Todd. And thanks for listening. And folks, if you want to be part of the podcast or you want to give us some feedback or really contact us about anything, feel free to email us at podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Again, that's podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Thanks for listening. Talk to you again next week.